Assalamu alaikum friends, my name is Bilal Khan and today is my 54th video of DevOps. So in this video I am going to talk about the cloud computing. Alright, so let's take a look at the definition of cloud computing, that what it is. So cloud computing is an on-demand delivery of computer resources. Alright, so this is the thing that you need to keep in mind. So it will provide you the on-demand delivery of computer resources. Those resources could be power, the database, storage, applications, and other IT resources through the cloud service platform. Alright, so the on-demand delivery will be provided through the cloud service platform. That could be AWS, that could be Azure, that could be GCP, Google cloud platform, etc. So there are multiple cloud platforms that are present in the market. So these cloud platforms are providing the delivery, on-demand delivery of the resources according to your need. Alright, so and this service will be provided to you by this cloud platform and with the help of internet. Alright, so if you have internet, then you can access these cloud resources on these cloud platforms. Alright, so with pay as you go pricing model. Alright, so you will have to pay for some amount and then you will be given access to the computer resources like database, power, storage, etc. Alright, so the amount is very little because it will be dependent on the monthly basis, yearly basis, weekly basis, day basis, or even hourly basis, that how many hours did you use those resources. Alright, so it will be dependent upon the usage. If you want to use them according to your need, then the pricing will differ. But it is very easy to access those resources via the internet through these cloud platforms. Instead of installing all of the resources or all of the infrastructure in your own in-house, it will be very easy to access it via the internet. Alright, so now let's take a look at the problems before the cloud computing. Alright, so before cloud computing, when you were starting a company, you already need the following items in advance. Alright, so these were the list of the items that you need to first of all make it and need it before starting a company, because these were the essential things that were required. Alright, so let's say you wanted 4 servers, alright, for a business to run on. The one is AD server, DNS server, 2 application servers, and similarly you were requiring some of the routers, switches, cabling, gateway, firewall, and AC to cool those servers down that you have installed. Alright, and after that you are also requiring the 24/7 electricity. Employees were required to maintain those servers in day and night also. Alright, and OPEX was required. It means that the employees' expenditure was required to maintain the resources. Alright, so to hire the employees you need to pay for them. Alright, so these were all the resources and the money that was required before the cloud computing. So these were all the things that that were required, and you have to do this. You have to do this in your house to start your company. So it needed so much space or cost to install all of them, and it required many days to install them. And if the business failed, then this investment was wasted. Alright, so these were all the problems that were related to the things that you were doing before the cloud computing manually. Alright, so now let's take a look at the characteristics of the cloud computing, because the cloud computing has solved this problem. You don't need these kind of servers, routers, etc. Instead, you just need an internet connection, and you need to access any cloud platform through which you can access those resources if you want to according to your need. And then you will have to pay a minimum amount of bill on hourly basis, day basis, or weekly basis, monthly basis, or even yearly basis if you want to. Alright, so this was the headache that has been removed now. So characteristics of cloud computing is basically on-demand self-service. It will provide you the service according to your need. Let's say if you want 2 servers, 3 servers, 4 servers, it will provide you according to your need. And then a broad network access. It means that it access it from anywhere in the world through the internet. So now you are not limited to any location. Instead, you are able to access those resources that you are using for your company with the help of internet anywhere in the world. All right. So it provides the scalability. It means that you can increase or decrease the servers. All right. So let's say for some days you want the 50 servers, and for the next day, if the application is not requiring those servers and you want to decrease the number of servers, then you can also decrease them. So it will be very scalable, and you just need to pay for the days in which you have used those 50 servers. All right. So let's say you have used 50 servers for 3 days of sale in your application. So you just need to pay for 3 days of the servers that you have used. Otherwise, all the servers, all the 10 servers or one server that you are already using, you need to pay that price for the one server. But for 3 days, you just need to pay for the 3 days servers that you have installed right now for the sale. All right. So this is the scalability that has been solved with the help of cloud computing. And now the next point is the resource pooling. It means that gets the required number of servers from a pool or a collection of servers. Alright, so basically there are a lot of servers that are present in the cloud computing industry or the platform that you are using in it, and from those collection of servers or pool of servers, you can get any number of server if you require. Alright, so let's say if you want from the 2 servers from hundreds of servers, you can get those numbers of server. Alright, so measured services, it will basically provide you the analysis or the analytics of the traffic that visited that servers. All right, so it will also provide you the functionality or the analytics data that these services was visited by, how many people people has visited that server. So it will provide you the analytics of these servers that you are using right now. All right. So now let's take a look at the top players in the cloud. So there are some top players that are currently present in the cloud industry. The first one is the AWS, Amazon Web Services. The next one is the Microsoft Azure. The third one is the GCP, Google Cloud Platform. After that, Alibaba Cloud, Oracle. Alright, so there are many cloud, top players and cloud platforms that are present in the industry. And now let's take a look at the history of AWS. So first of all, the AWS was launched in 2006. So because I'm going to discuss the AWS in the upcoming videos, so I will focus on the AWS only. So after that, I will also create in my upcoming series these cloud platforms, the tutorials of these cloud platforms. But for now, I'm just focusing on the AWS. So that's why I'm discussing the AWS in brief. Alright, so AWS was launched in 2006. AWS completely moved to Amazon in 2010, and then the AWS certification started in 2013. Profit got doubled in 2015 and 16, and after that they discussed about the virtual reality, AI, etc. in a 2000 reInvent conference. So this is a conference that the AWS yearly announced. So in this 2017 conference, they discussed about various things like virtual reality, AI, cloud computing, etc. Alright, so now let's take a look at the services that are present in the cloud computing. So basically there are 3 major services that the cloud computing provides. Alright, so the first service is IaaS. It means that infrastructure as a service. The second service is a PaaS, means platform as a service. The third service is SaaS, software as a service. Alright, so these are the services that the cloud computing provides. So now let's take a look at this diagram so that you can better understand it. Alright, so first of all, these are the this is network, storage, server, virtualization, OS, middleware, runtime, data, and application. Alright, so they are divided in 3 layers. Alright, so from network to OS, these services are called IaaS, alright, infrastructure as service. So if the cloud provider giving you the services from network to OS, these services will be called the infrastructure as service. Alright, and after that, if the cloud provider is providing you the service starting from network to runtime, then these services will be called the PaaS, means product as a service, platform as a service. Alright, so these services should be starting from the network and end at the runtime. And after that, if the cloud provider is providing you the service starting from network to the application, it means that all the services, then this service will be called the SaaS, means software as a service. Alright, so I hope you understood. So let's take a look at the detail explanation of this. So the OS, virtualization, server, storage, network as service that you take from the cloud is called the IaaS. Alright, so OS to network, these services are called IaaS, infrastructure as service. After that, the above ones included. Alright, so these one included including the middleware and the runtime services. Alright, so if you include middleware and runtime with these services also, then these services will be called the PaaS. Alright, so if you take from the cloud, it's called the PaaS, means platform as a service. After that, all the above ones, including the applications and the data services that you take from the cloud, is called the SaaS. So all the services that you will start from the network to the application will be called the SaaS, or software as a service. So after that, let's take a look at the deployment model of cloud. So there are three deployment model of clouds. So the first one is the public cloud, the second one is the private cloud, the third one is the hybrid cloud. Alright, so now let's take a look at the public cloud. So public cloud is for general users that anyone can use it. Alright, so this is a cloud platform that anybody can access it and use it. So there are multiple public cloud platforms like GCP, Google Cloud Platform, Azure, AWS, alright, so Amazon Web Services. So these are for general users that anyone can use it for making their application and for their use. Alright, and the second one is the private cloud. It means that the private cloud is only used in an enterprise and in its different branches for its company usage only. Alright, so if a company has installed some kind of cloud in its own house or in its on premises, then it will be called the private cloud. Alright, so because it is not accessible to another company or enterprise, it will be only allowed to in the company that it is using and it has installed. Alright, and it will be in the present in the on hand, it will be in your on hand, so it is secure. It means that you have the control to access it and you have the control to get the data from it. Alright, so the Azure, AWS, GCP, these cloud platforms does not have the control because they are in another company's hand or another people's hand. Alright, so they you can only access them, but you can't change it or modify it according to your needs. Instead, if the private cloud is present in your house, then you can modify according to your needs. Alright, so these private clouds are used in major of the companies. Alright, so after that, the next cloud platform, the deployment model is the hybrid cloud. So basically the hybrid cloud is the public and the private cloud. Alright, so this is the combination. The combination of public and hybrid cloud will be called the public and the private cloud will be called the hybrid cloud. Alright, so big companies uses both public cloud and private cloud. Alright, so the combination of public and private will be called the hybrid cloud. So Azure provides better facility of providing the hybrid cloud, so you can merge public and private clouds in Azure. Alright, so basically the Azure is providing the better facility instead of other cloud platforms in which you can merge the private and public clouds in Azure. Alright, so now let's take a look at the virtualization. So I have discussed the virtualization concept in my Docker series also. If you want to check them out in my 60 days of DevOps, you can also check them. But to explain it in a short way, basically the network, storage and server should be virtualized in order to run them. Alright, so the network, storage, server, these things should be virtualized in order to run them. Alright, so after that you need a hypervisor to make the network, storage and server virtualized. So basically before installing the virtualization, you first of all need a hypervisor to make the a network, storage and server virtualized. So this hypervisor will make these resources virtualized, and then if it is virtualized, then you can use them. So a hypervisor divides and allocates the resources of network, storage and server. Alright. So the hypervisor will make these resources virtualized, and after virtualization you can use those services. So after that, there are different hypervisors for different companies. So for Microsoft, there is a Hyper-V hypervisor, and for AWS, there is a Citrix hypervisor, and for VMware, there is a ESXi hypervisor. Alright, so for different companies, there are different hypervisors that they are using. So you can only use cloud if you have virtualization installed. Alright, so this is the thing that you need to keep in mind. So if you want to run and use the cloud platform, you have to install the virtualization. Alright, so if you want these kind of resources like virtualization resource. So that's it for now. So I hope you like this video. So if you liked it, then make sure to subscribe to my channel. And if you have any questions, then ask those questions in the comment section below. I'll be happy to answer all of them. So till then, goodbye.